We all know that sugar is bad for you, but why is it bad for you? I want to start off by explaining that sugar is not all bad. Your body can actually utilize the glucose present in sugar to convert it into energy for your cells, which is basically a fuel source for your body. Now, is it the most optimal fuel source? Hell no. It's like putting regular gasoline into a diesel truck. It's gonna mess up the engine over time. And that regular gasoline might be cheaper, but do you really want to have to pay for the repairs when the engine breaks? It's crazy. If you pay the extra dollar for your truck, then why the hell would you not pay for that same effort and sacrifice for your body? Let's put our nerd goggles on for a second so we can understand this. This is Juan. He's got a little chocolate bar over here. It's 45 grams of sugar. The moment that chocolate comes into contact with Juan's saliva, there are enzymes that are already breaking that apart into their elements. But we're just going to be focusing on the sucrose. As the sucrose makes its way through the esophagus and into the stomach, all that sucrose is actually being converted into their primary elements, glucose and fructose. Glucose makes its way to your intestines, absorbed straight into the bloodstream, which your body transports to all the cells in your body, which is good. Now, you get shit like cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes when you eat sugar over and over again, which spikes your insulin levels. Think of insulin like the car that drives glucose around the body, and your pancreas like the factory that produces those cars. Now, if there's too much glucose, your body's pancreas gets overworked and becomes less productive in producing insulin for your cars. Now, this is called insulin resistance, and you do not want this stuff because now all that glucose has nowhere to go, and boom, blood sugar levels are uncontrollable, and it's like too late for you. Now, the fructose is that little stubborn guy because it doesn't get absorbed as easily and actually puts a lot more pressure on the liver because it has to constantly circulate around there in order to finally get produced into something usable, so that it could then be soaked up into the bloodstream and transported to your cells as fuel. Too much pressure on the liver also makes the organ ineffective, which leads to more health risk. Thanks a lot, sugar. The reason why natural sugars and fruit is better for you, though, is because even though that they basically in the molecular level still have the same glucose, fruits and vegetables come with their own things like minerals and vitamins, but also fiber, which supports metabolism, and it contains less of that fructose. Your average soda or lollipop comes with absolutely 0% of that fiber, and hence makes it twice as hard for your body. So you stop eating sugar? Well, not completely. You're already indoctrinated into eating that anyways. It's all a matter of moderation anyways, especially if you're young. Just be aware of it and you'll be good. Too many people eat whatever they can get their hands on and complain 20 years later when they're diagnosed with a terrible disease. And just so you guys know, this was just the blood sugar side of what the effects that sugar has. Sugar actually also has psychological effects on your brain. It almost acts like somewhat of a drug to keep you hooked onto that satisfied feeling. And it also plays a really big role, especially when you're already on a calorie deficit. It's basically easily converted into fat. Because when you're on a calorie deficit, that means that all of the carbohydrates, the lipids, and the proteins, they've already been expended throughout the whole body. They've already been used as energy for your locomotion and your body's like natural energy source. Where does that excess glucose, where does that excess fructose go? It goes into your stomach, or it goes into spaces in your body where fat is created to store that glucose. But just so you know, that this video is not a 100% explanation on the effects of sugar. It actually has a more in-depth thing. Again, just be aware, guys. That's all.